Let's see. Good. Ready when you're ready. Let's get it done. What's going on, good folks? Good folks, good folks. Man, let me fix this. I don't like the way that look, brother. Remove. There we go. There we go. Good evening, good people. What's up, man? This is Mike Steele back in the building. Real Talk with Mike Steele in the building. You know how I do it, man. Bringing y'all the hottest conversations online, podcast, wherever you want to go, man. You know, y'all know how I do it, man. I've been doing it for a while. Real Talk with Mike Steele. I have a special guest in the building, man. My guy, we've been connected for over a month now, and I finally got him on, man. So, y'all know how, I'm going to introduce him. You know I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. You know, I will introduce him, but you know how I do it. Before I introduce him, I ask my question, man. I have to ask that question. That one question. In one word, describe Courtney P. In one word.
Adaptable.
Adaptable. Why?
Because you can put Courtney P anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Courtney P will go to a Chinese restaurant. I go to a soul food restaurant.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
And you adapt.
And I adapt. We can go to grandma's house and eat. Your auntie house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your lady or my lady can just make us a turkey sandwich and some chips, and we got a couple cold beers. We watch Alabama game, Auburn game. You know, I'm adaptable.
You just fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that man, like, he's like Clado. Man, in the building, man, I have social media influencer. I mean, I can put so many titles on this guy. I can, man. I can. But it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure to introduce to you my guy, Courtney P. Courtney Paulding. Look at me. Paulding, a.k.a. Courtney P. Long and short of it all, man. Don't want to. That's the first time I actually saw that last name. Well, I saw it before, but that's the first time I actually had someone that I know have that last name, though.
Oh yeah.
You know where it's originated from?
I think it has some type of when it comes to the King's Court background, somewhere overseas, but it's not a lot of Paulins in Birmingham.
Yes.
I think my granddad's side of the family, that's their name, but it's like 2 or 3 other Paulin families outside of his family that I'm aware of. But it's not a lot of Paulins at all. Yeah, in the Birmingham metro area.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, y'all give it up, man. My good friend, the guy, I've known him now for a couple of months. Hey, great guy, social media influencer, all that. Like I said, I could put a bunch of labels on you.
I appreciate
but
it,
we
man.
here today to have a conversation, man. And I want to chop it up with my guy, man. So y'all give a big round of applause for my guy, Courtney Paulding, man. In the building, Real Talk.
Real talk.
Come on now. What's wrong? Come on. Let him rip. Come on now. Guys, if you I'm gonna take these buds out, man, because that noise is really getting on my nerve. Guys, if you follow me on social media and if you however you connect with me, be sure that you go and catch this episode on Our Heart, Spotify, and Apple. We're gonna drop it on Sunday as a podcast. So make sure you go check us out, man. If you don't catch us now, even if you do, man, show us some love and just go in there, tap in with us over there, man. So I appreciate everybody that take time out to like and subscribe. They're recording.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe to me and follow me and support what I do, man. So it's a big blessing. Thank you. And I hope that y'all continue to do so. Courtney, man. Birmingham native, are you?
Yeah, Birmingham metro. I was born and raised in Bessemer. Grew up in Homewood. I've been living in Pratt City area the last 25 years.
Okay. All right. So, but you're not from Pratt, though?
No, I'm not originally from there. People think I'm Pratt City ends. They always try to tie me there. But
J Ski, Pratt City is building. J Ski, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but okay, just to come back, because people who watch my show and kind of follow me, I kind of like, what I do is kind of like, I connect dots, man. I bring people in because I want to learn about them and what they do, and I want you guys to take that journey with me, basically. learn what my people do, man, the people that I bring on, and support what they do. Not only just learn what they do. Go out, like, share, and subscribe. Man, look it. Anyway, just show, just that's what I do. So, Courtney, you grew up, okay, so let's talk about early childhood, if you will.
Yeah.
You grew up in, as a kid, where you live with?
Well, that's the first, I would say, 12 years was pretty much split between Bessemer and Fairfield because my grandmother was still living. My grandmother played a big part of my life the first 12 years before she died. She died when I was about 15, but when I got 12, she really got sick.
Yeah.
But when my mom situation got better, we actually moved to Homewood.
Okay.
And so that's where I can say I really grew up, from 10 to 18. That's where I pretty much grew up from middle school to the late elementary school and high school. But the first 11, 12 years was spent in Bessemer and Fairfield, pretty much Bessemer.
And if you will, man, I try to be a little transparent, but you don't have to, man.
Yeah.
Like you can, you don't have to answer every question I ask, but you said mom got better, situation got better. Mom,
So my mom is one of the innovators of hair weave. She actually did style wigs for Koreans for years, and then as her situation got better, she branched off into weave, and she's actually one of the first people in Birmingham to do weave hair.
Yeah.
And so as her name got bigger with the hair industry, she actually moved to Homewood.
Mama doing the 27 pieces.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Y'all doing the 27 pieces.
Yeah, and so
she a hairdresser.
Yeah, she's retired now, but she did it for like 40 years. Yeah. And so she did all the big shows, Bronner Brothers shows, shows on the West Coast. Her name reigns real big when it comes to hair weave. So shout out to Mama P.
Mama P. Mama Paul. Hey, Mama P. Yeah. That you having siblings and dad was around?
No, my father, we actually didn't have a lot of communication, but I do have two sisters by him, and we've built a relationship over the years. But pretty much I grew up with my mom and my mom's side of the family, so that's why I always give shots out to Bessemer because again, my first 12 years was pretty much spent as an 80%. In Bessemer, and I still get a lot of love. As I got older, I went to all the Bessemer clubs. Yeah. And I know Bessemer get a bad name, but
I know a lot of people from Bessemer.
Great people. Gucci man, like I tell everybody.
Yeah, from Bessemer.
His granddad's house was 2 doors down from my grandmother's house. So we actually, again, the first 8, 9 years of our life, we grew up like first cousins. You know what I'm saying? We shared a watermelon together. You know what I'm saying? We used to wrestle.
Yeah.
Eat syrup sandwiches, drink Fagos, what I'm saying? It was real child play
Eating syrup sandwiges, boy, get choked.
Man.
I played football with some guys from Bessemer, man, back in Miles College. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know some good guys from Bessemer. And you said Bessemer get a bad rep. I guess now things have changed a little bit in Bessemer, maybe, but I've been there a couple of times. It wasn't all that, but things change all over the world, man.
Well, when I say Bessemer gets a bad rep, a lot of times people that have an elitist attitude, they think that, Bessemer's just country, or these people are in Bessemer wild. But, Bessemer has had a lot of impact on Birmingham. It's had a lot of impact on the South. You mentioned Gucci.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson, he's from Bessemer. Nico Ryans, you've had a lot of good people do some good things out of Bessemer.
Bessemer, Alabama, my place to be. I like old Bessemer though. You mentioned your dad, man. Just to normalize some of that with your dad, you had a minimum contact. Me too, man. I never knew my father, so I talk about the transparency there because people think it's not all the time. Strong people in your life, strong women, strong men too.
Right.
That step in the gap, man, and help raise people like us.
Right.
A lot of times, people think because dad ain't around that, you're just gonna be this kid that's out of control, basically.
Right.
And I had my share of that too, but
Right.
I guess what I'm trying to say, you're doing some great things, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing some great things. I think that we, living and giving back and doing some of the things that we need to do, despite having my dad in my life.
Right.
I just know as a father now to my kids is to be everything that my dad wasn't to my kids.
No doubt.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, man. So, and mom, a renowned hairdresser.
Oh yeah, hair weave. She's gonna say hair weave. Now she'll get back to
hair
hairdresser.
Weave extraordinaire.
Yeah. Hair weave expert. That's what she's gonna say.
Okay, I got you, Mama P. So middle school, man. Growing up, you went where?
Homewood
Middle School.
Homewood Middle School, Homewood High School. I did go to Center Street 1 year, but I'm definitely a patriot too.
Okay.
And I think that's where the diversity comes in and the adaptability comes in. So. I still have just as much love for Homewood as I do for Bessemer, as well as, just the whole 1 through 18 movement of Courtney Paulding, way before Courtney P.
Courtney P. We're talking about Courtney Paulding now. We're going to get into Courtney P in a minute. Yeah, so how was, middle school growing up? Was it, you played any sports? Did you do any?
I played a little football.
Little football.
Yeah, in the seventh grade, but I ended up breaking my ankle playing sandlot football, and so you know how it is. Your mom gets scared. She really wanted me to play again in 8th grade, but then the situation happened where my 8th grade year I had to move, and so I had to change schools. I went to Center Street for a year, and then came back to Homewood in the 9th grade. But pretty much after that, it was just school, work, and just trying to become a man.
Yeah, man. How were you raised in Homewood? Middle school.
How was I raised?
How was your grades?
Oh, I was never, believe it or not, I was never a what they call an honor student.
Yeah.
I would say average to even in some situations below average, but it's never because I didn't apply myself. It's because I just had my mind on other things, and I just.
What was the other thing, Courtney? Come on, man. What was the other thing?
Yeah.
Shout it.
Well, I just think sometimes, especially when you're in a place like Homewood, people assume that you're just smart. But I think that although it was a great culture, I don't think I really took full advantage of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you get with, a different set of guys, you know what I'm saying, and do some different things. Sometimes you just act out just because. Sometimes you don't realize the opportunity you have. And so that's how I look at pretty much my Homewood middle school and high school experience. I don't think anybody really truly maximizes what they do, but I definitely don't think I maximize
what you could have done.
What I could have done. But one thing I do have, and anybody that's done anything with me or against me, I'm a very hard worker. You know what I'm saying? So, even though I didn't apply myself in school, like a lot of times I worked a job after school every single summer, from 7th grade up. I worked the summer job. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you've been working for a long time.
Right after high school, I went into a real job and became a top performer almost immediately. So I've always money's always motivated me. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that having older cousins and having ties to the hood again, growing up in Bessemer, being raised in Bessemer with my grandmother, seeing some of the things happen down there at a early age, my main thing was like, man, no, I can't go to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And be locked up for a long time trying to sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's other ways to get it. So, I mean, I have a uncle. He's been on his job like 45 years. I've got a great uncle that was instrumental in my life. He lived to be 97 years old.
Wow.
He had worked. He had worked for years, but then in his 70s and 80s up until he was like 90 years old, he hustled cans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would ride in the truck with him, again, 1 through 10. So it was really those ages with some of those young people with some of those older people 1 through 10 that really set me up for a good work ethic.
No. You seeing performed by your uncles and great uncles and people
my
like
great
that.
uncle, yeah.
Seeing the performance of hard work and
Right.
understanding work, and
Right.
you kind of like, for lack of a better word, like copied that thing.
Right. And they wasn't these elitist guys. They wasn't these guys where they got to have, the $1,000 suit, what I'm saying? They got to have, the big house on the biggest out of town. They just like, hey, I'm gonna get
That's
this money.
funny that you mentioned that, because Birmingham can be very materialistic.
Oh yeah.
I learned that from being here. I'm a transplant.
Right.
Here.
Right.
But man, I'm like, boy, Birmingham can be very materialistic.
Right. Well, I think what's happened with Birmingham is because, like, when it comes to materialistic side, when it comes to the elitist side, Atlanta's only 2 hours and 15 minutes away.
Yeah. So they're rubbing off on them.
Yeah. So, you got guys and girls or ladies, they can easily put $25, $30 in their tank, depending on what kind of car they drive.
Yeah, and go down to Atlanta.
They go to Atlanta and they meet somebody, situation's a little bit better, so that expectation level totally changes, even though they may not be quite on that same level. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, because people always ask, what kind of car you drive? Where you live?
Right.
It's something, it ain't your business. What kind of car I drive, the one that get me to point A to point B.
Right.
I mean, I've heard that though. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Birmingham. I think Birmingham is like my second home. If I'm not living in Florida, I'd rather be in Birmingham.
Right.
And I spent most of my adult years. In fact, I grew up in Birmingham. I became a man in Birmingham before moving back to Florida. Before moving back to Birmingham. Right. But I've learned that it can be, but I'm learning not only Birmingham can be very materialistic, but I'm also learning that Atlanta, Texas, and I'm thinking like it's maybe a Southern thing, really. I know, I'm just thinking this from my experience that, people, they ask questions like, where you live and what kind of car you drive. And I've had friends that I know saying, you make this amount of money, you should be driving this kind of car. Right. So,
well, I think it's just a black culture thing anyway, now, because you have all these rappers that make it seem like their situation is A1. You have all these entertainers that make it seem like their situation.
Smoke and mirrors, though?
Yeah. I think it's smoke and mirrors, definitely. Because people will assume that you make X amount of dollars, but they never seen your paycheck stub. You know what I'm saying? They never had access to your account.
Yeah.
They really don't know if you own child support, if you owe back taxes. You know what I'm saying?
They don't know anything.
Yeah, they don't know anything. The only thing they know is titles or whatever. And so that's why, I always try to avoid the elitist mentality or the materialistic mentality. You know what I'm saying? When anybody see me, I want them to be like, okay, that's Courtney P. He'll talk to anybody. He'll interview anybody. He'll kick it with anybody to a certain degree, but at the same time, I still always kind of have my certain percentage of privacy, when it comes to certain things,
Yeah, I checked that out too. I can see that too, yeah. Now, but you said also you went to Homewood High School, so you got love for Homewood High School.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you didn't play any sports at Homewood High School, right?
No, I actually did make the 9th grade basketball team, but I had some grade issues or whatever. Yeah. And so the coach just told me to come back that spring, but I never came back.
A little bit, Courtney?
Well, back in the day, I used to hoop, a little bit. A little bit.
I got
you. But again, just because I didn't apply myself grades wise, I didn't really pursue it. I just worked.
Man, a lot of us did, man. I mean, school was just a means to. I saw school, man, just probably like you saw it.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it because I just wanted to play, football, really. Yeah, it wasn't the ideal of just, going to college. Well, I knew if I played football, I can go to college. So that's pretty much, but, I wasn't no scholar either, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking to be no scholar.
Right.
I was looking to be eligible for
Right.
the next football season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just keeping 100. You
Right.
know. But were you a popular kid in high school?
I can't say I was popular like that because that's never been my goal to be the most popular person. But I
Yeah.
mean, people knew me. And then one thing about going to a school like Homewood, it was only like 25% black. You know what I'm saying? At the time I went there. Well, I would say 25% other. But I think the misleading thing about Homewood is we do have, and shout out to Rosedale, Homewood does have a black community in Homewood called Rosedale. And so that's why, again, in the 80s and the 90s, Homewood football teams were always really good because there's always been some really, really good athletes come out of Rosedale. So, we didn't have the biggest black community there, but, we pretty much knew who we were. And then when you asked the question about like popularity, we did have high school fraternities was a real big thing here in Birmingham.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and so, I was actually somebody that was actually at the beginning of a fraternity. I'm actually one of the founders of AK Psi. Shout out to AK Psi.
AK Psi.
Yeah. And so they became one of the most popular frats here in Birmingham. So when it comes to like popularity or whatever, I'm always that guy that I never seek out the attention, but somehow, some way, I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to my money, I'm definitely going after the attention. You know what I'm saying?
When it comes to that change,
yeah. When it comes to my money,
when it comes to that money,
but when it comes to everything else, the other guys they can have that. You know what I'm saying? They can have that.
Boy, KA Psi?
AK Psi.
AK Psi.
Yeah.
AK Psi. They're still around, I'm sure.
Well, I think what happened about 7-8 years ago, the high school fraternity scene kind of died down a little bit. But then you've got in the last school fraternities are kind of
coming back.
Yeah, coming back. Yeah, because I think they're trying to find ways for kids that's really not as much into the sports to have things to do.
Yeah.
And so some of my friends, their kids, are in fraternities and sororities or whatever this on the high school level, which I think is a good thing.
I mean, it's a good look.
Yeah. Only thing I think it's still one of those things you have to be careful with because sometimes the influence, can be a little bit more than it probably deserves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do think it is a good thing because one thing about the high school fraternity or sorority movement, I think it really lets you know if there's something you may consider in college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure that I was not going to go to college, but me having high school experience, it wasn't really a big thing. You know what I'm saying? For me, if I would have went to college to possibly pledge a college fraternity because high school we did parties, we hung out, we kicked it, we
it's kind of similar.
It's very similar. People will make it seem like college is a bit more, and which it is, I think, especially on the alumni level, because you have so much of the networking involved.
It's a larger scale. It's
the
same similar thing,
right,
on a bigger scale.
Right, exactly. But I think that it kind of sets the table for you. If you decide to do it or if you decide not to do it.
Yeah,
I think it pretty much sets the table for you.
But it's interesting, man, because you mentioned that you one of the founders of
AK Psi.
AK Psi. AK Psi. You one of the founders of that fraternity, man. That's deep, though.
Yeah. Well, I look at, I've always want to be the type of person that want to be a part of a movement. And it was actually by accident. It was a shout out to Club Excello. It was another fraternity. Club Excello was pretty popular. And I was, ran with a couple group of guys, that was with them, but, we actually branched off and started AK Psi. So, a lot of that implementation when it comes to a lot of even these older fraternities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you have one group of guys that start off, but then guys branch off. I even found that was the case with a lot of these fast food restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, the original founders of McDonald's end up doing something else. So,
Yeah.
you know, but I've always looked at myself to be a leader, whether I have the title or not. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. So, you know, walking and talking with Courtney P, I look at this as something that, you know, that's innovative as well.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
We're
especially
gonna
for
dive
Birmingham in
into
the
that in a
South. Yeah.
second. So, high school. After high school, you didn't go to. Did you go to college?
No, I didn't go to college.
So you kind of like went straight into the workforce.
Yeah, I went straight
Okay.
into the
'Cause
workforce.
I think I
Again,
heard you say
I
that.
graduated in May. In July, I was working. You know what I'm saying? Working
Wow.
hard. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's impressive.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you don't have to talk about where you work unless you want, but
Oh no, I
yeah.
have no problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you're a
because it
banker
was
though.
yeah, I'm a banker now. You know what I'm saying? Now, for as the banking job, I would prefer not to say where I work for the protection
Yeah.
of them, but the company that I actually work with, fresh out of high school, and you know, any jobs prior, I have no problem discussing those.
Yeah. But how long you been with this job? I'm just saying.
15 years. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Man,
Yeah.
that's a long time, Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you got some stability in you. What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And consistency.
Inconsistency.
Hit
Yeah.
that like button, hit that share button.
We're gonna get right into it.
Mhm.
Oh man. What is your responsibility at your job now?
Well, I try to help people when it comes to small business loans, particularly those that are not um, those businesses not doing the best.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like a coach slash probation officer. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get them on the right track. You know? Yeah.
Do you have any? I know you have the answer. Well, you can answer this.
Mhm.
But do you have any friends that like know they out of reach with reality wants a loan from you because you work at a bank? Have you ever experienced something like that?
Well, you know, I'm more so the type of person. I try to take pride in, again, adaptability and being diverse. So when it comes to people that's out of reality, in my opinion, all of those people are gonna gravitate to me because, like, just like yourself,
Yeah.
you have a podcast.
Yeah.
I have a walking and talking movement, which is similar. So I think anytime you put yourself out to people, people are always gonna come to you with some of the most, you know, different type of opinions. I'll put it like that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? And different
I
type
got
of
you.
ways of doing things. But yeah, I mean that happens all the time. I mean, I just think the main problem with a lot of people is they just don't want to put the work in sometimes, and then the people that do put the work in, you know, they become successful, but people just automatically think they're gonna be there, but it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have very few people that don't have to put that much work in and get lucky and have successful businesses. But most of the people that I know that really have good businesses and also have a good reputation and last long, they've definitely put the work in, you know.
Yeah.
And then just even from a banker's perspective, since we are having this conversation,
Yes, sir.
I think it's worth mentioning that, you know, I hear a lot of people in our culture that talks about how I wasn't able to get a business loan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now sometimes the bank may have missed something, whichever financial institution it may be. But I think a lot of times people, they don't have a business plan. They don't file tax returns, personal and business. So I would advise anybody as a banker, if you are thinking about going into business, you know, file your last 3 years personal tax returns. Make sure your last 3 years of business tax returns is filed. Yeah. So once you do that, I think that's a good start. And then if you're doing that, pretty much, you know, a business plan will come easy because you know where your money went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what your peak days are. You know where you make your money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you can sell it to somebody else.
Yeah.
If you need to get a loan or grant or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you ain't doing none of those things, man, and you're not being a good steward of any of your stuff, man, you can't expect people to come out and take a risk on you when you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's what it all boils down to.
Right.
Yeah. So now, after high school, boom, you get into this banking industry. 15 years in the making, man, I take my hat off because it's hard for some people to hold a job down for 2 years or a year. And not only a job, this is a career right now we're talking about.
Right.
So, but now, how did you get into this space with walking and talking with Courtney P?
Well, I consider myself to be an activist. And what I mean by that is, and a lot of people.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of my. That was one. Go ahead, though. Go ahead, bro.
I feel like a lot of people are activists and they don't know it. It could be something as simple as grandma has this lazy uncle, a lazy older cousin at the house and not paying no bills. And you go over there and you say, hey, cuz, man, grandma, man, struggling. You can at least pay the power bill. You can at least pay the cable bill.
Yeah.
That's an activist movement. You know what I'm saying? You may have a family member that's not the most responsible and, they kid may be inspired to do something. And you say, you know what? I'm going to take little Johnny to football practice. I'm going to take him to Homewood Park or Hoover and let him experience some, time with some other kids or other groups of ethnicity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I got tongue tied. Yeah.
But
so I just think we're activists and we don't know it. So what I did was I tried to start a I did a gas petition 4 years ago when gas was just astronomical. And I went to different radio stations. I called the news stations because I'm riding on the west side of Birmingham and it's not funny, but I'm seeing people run out of gas. Sometimes I would pull up at the gas station and I would see where gas was like $5.15 at the time, and people put like $3 worth of gas in their car. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
Yeah. And so it just seemed like at the time the government was so nonchalant, especially locally, people were so nonchalant about it. I'm like, man, like gas, like $5.15, $5.30.
Gas is an arm and a leg, bro.
Right.
At that time, I remember.
And so what I did was I started a gas petition, and honestly, anybody close to me, anybody I was raised with, guys I came up with there to you, man. Courtney P. He was never a social media person, and so what I did was I started writing state representatives, writing the local elected officials, calling the different gas companies, Exxon, Chevron.
Wow.
Yeah. Asking them, hey, look, is there anything you guys can do to mitigate this? So what I asked for was a $3 cap on gas. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, excuse my expression, was like, go to hell. But when I did, believe it or not, when I did call the governor's office, I did get a person, and Governor Kay Abbott, believe it or not, their office was very receptive to my ideas, but still, I really couldn't get no motion.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies, well, two of them actually, one of them was doing a YouTube. Shout out to my good friend Curtis E. from Zen. Another friend of mine, Erica Hill. Shout out to Erica. They already had YouTube channels,
right?
And Erica did food. Curtis, he kind of did the relationship thing, and I was like, well, dang, man, maybe I should get on YouTube and start talking about this. You know what I'm saying? And so
you took matters in your own hand, basically.
Yeah.
And you started walking and talking with Go to Be.
Yeah.
So is that the inspiration behind all of it?
Yeah, that was the inspiration because I really couldn't get, any good feedback from local officials. But then, gas prices started going down. I mean, I was pretty much on speed dial with, the governor's office as well as a couple of state representatives, and then, it's other stuff that I had put out there, not being on social media, I did a co-interview with Doug Jones through the local Channel 13 News when Floyd died, and this was for police reform, for review boards. Just basically, if there was a situation where a cop mistreated someone, then you would have a review board to actually look into the situation to see if it needs to be escalated. And it didn't really get it got a lot of good feedback from Birmingham,
Right.
but people didn't feel like it was needed in Birmingham. But I feel like that, we live in a copycat world. So
Hold on now. They didn't feel like the review board was needed?
no, they didn't think, because Birmingham police officers didn't have a lot of complaints when it comes to excessive force.
Right.
They feel like it wasn't needed. But Woodfin, he eventually did put a review board together. They just didn't put out the tire, dress some tires, and move forward with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was, again, another idea that I
Yeah.
came up with. Another thing I found that anybody that follows Birmingham politics can tell you, right after George Floyd died, when people toured Birmingham, I came up with a review board plan, and they talked about it on the news. Like I said, Doug Jones, he was the senator at the time.
Yeah.
He was actually up in D.C. actually trying to get some police reform and get a review board implemented. But I did it for the sake of a lot of people in Birmingham go to Homewood. Me
Right.
actually being raised growing up in Homewood, and having ties to Hoover and Vestavia over the mountain as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I saw how police was in the 90s, in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
my thing was, okay, if Birmingham does it, maybe Homewood will do it.
Yeah.
Maybe Vestavia do it.
So
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, catch on fire.
Yeah, but that never happened. So with some of my, individual activist movements, and shout out to Josh Raby, he played a big part of the gas cap movement when I was trying to get gas lowered. But my main thing was, okay, I've got to do something. And a couple of my friends like, man, you got to get on social media. And so from there, I started off just doing videos in my neighborhood, exercising. And I would do videos talking about serious topics. And then, some restaurants I do videos, and then I'll hit the clubs, because I've always clubbed
Yeah.
in Birmingham. and so
You like a socialite.
yeah. And so what ended up happening, people would start messaging me on Facebook, messaging me on TikTok. What's TikTok? What's going on tonight? What's going on, Courtney P? And when that happened, it just was like, okay, I'm on to
People were paying
something.
attention.
Yeah,
to
I'm
you.
on to something. I'm on
Yeah.
to something. And from there, it was just a mixture of the clubs to certain foods to
Yeah.
when I'm, in Bessemer with my folks, because
Yeah.
Bessemer people are hilarious, especially
Yeah.
my Bessemer family. We in the backyard grilling,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I've had my mom first cousins on there in
Yeah.
their 70s, and amazing people. And man, we just make videos. People like, man, I saw you at the fish fry, I saw you at the barbecue.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just taking off.
Okay. Yeah, so look, listen, guys. In the building is Courtney P, man. Courtney Paulding, man, aka Courtney P, social media influencer, has a thing that a talking segment, which in my opinion is very unique, is one of a kind. Is Walking and Talking with Courtney P. I'm gonna play this video for you guys. Y'all check it out, man. It's just a collage of videos. It gives you a bird's eye view of what he does, a little bit, but it's greater than this though. But I had to play this for you guys. Check it out.
Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. And I just ran into a Birmingham superstar headed to work. What you gotta tell her, Chrissy?
If you're planning an event, you need an event, come see me at the Harbor Center, downtown Birmingham.
Hey, man, come see her at Harbor Center. Man, follow her all around Birmingham. Follow her on social media. Thanks for walking and talking and ride and slide with your boy, Courtney P. Again and again and again.
So, man, hey, that was just a little bit of what Courtney does. But Courtney got so many videos. I just want to put this little collage together just to give people a little insight to what you do, man. But you do so much, and these videos extends. I mean, you promote different businesses, you promote different people, you conversate with politicians. As you see, it was a couple of them on that video. All these state representatives and local commissioners and police chiefs was on there. Police chief. So, man, it's a whole gamut of the things that you do in promoting Birmingham as abroad, man. So, big ups to you, man, for just, like being able to have a platform where people could come on and share what they're doing and share what they got going on. That's big. That's big, man. Big ups to you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, with all the knowledge that you have and all the insight that you have you ever thought about doing a podcast?
People come to me about a podcast. It's crazy. It's three things people come to me about. At least twice a week. When am I gonna run for office? When am I gonna do a podcast?
Hey, they want to know. People want to know.
And a lot of people have asked me about, going to law school, which is like, that can't be done. The law school is definitely not the case because I only have 12 college credits, so I'm looking at being in my mid 50s by the time I can probably try my first case. So that's not gonna happen.
It could happen. Just say you're not interested.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested. You're right.
That can happen.
That's why I say it's probably not gonna happen. Just being reasonable.
Yeah.
And for as the podcast, I think that for now, I would just like to collaborate with guys like you, like I talked about. Shout out to Big Homie Podcast also. That's another
Big Homie Podcast.
That's also another one on podcast, but I'd rather, unite with the local podcast people here in Birmingham and surrounding areas as well as in the South. Because what you guys have is what you guys have. I feel like podcast is very, very good. I think it's very well needed. But at the same time, I feel like I'm filling that void with the people attention span that's not as big. And I think I'm doing a good job with it. So again, back to what my mom did in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Back to my high school run and being a part of, a high school fraternity, being implemented. Even when I finished high school, I started a call center that had only been open about 8-9 months. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Yeah, and became a manager there. So my thing is I want to be the innovator for the South of walking and talking. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like the Master P. You know what I'm saying?
Walking and talking.
Yeah, walking and talking. Yeah. I want to be the Young Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? Or the T.I. As it relates to with the trap music. I know T.I. actually had a real album, but when people think about the trap music, they think about Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? So when people think about walking and talking, I want people to think about me. Same thing, again, back to my mom, when she did hair, people that knew that see my last name that's a little bit older than both of us, they'd be like, yeah, your mom is a lady. When she was working in a certain shop, she would have a shower curtain to where people can't see her actually doing the women's hair weave, because some women may really be bald. You know what I'm saying, in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was my mom's way of implementing privacy for her customers.
Yeah.
You know, the beauty shop be full. You know, you got some person over here doing finger wave. You got other people cutting hair.
She pulled up a curtain so she can have some privacy.
Right.
Oh man,
right,
so she,
right.
your mom was innovative.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I feel like that walking and talking is creative, you know, is bringing people together. And my dream, and I'm serious about this, is for Birmingham politicians to come together. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have alleged certain officials that don't like each other, can't work together, don't speak. And so this is just another chance by being on your platform, asking Birmingham politicians to come together, because we need this more than anything. There's a lot of stuff going on in Montgomery where people are, you know, thinking about, you know, taking over our police department. They've already taken over our waterworks and things of that nature. And again, you know,
it's funny that you mentioned that, Courtney, about politics, because I don't mean to cut you off, man, but due to your popularity and how things have transpired for you over the last course of several years, have you ever thought about, you know, running for office?
Well, like I said again, that's one of my questions I get at least a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what happened when I came up with the review board idea 5 years ago when Floyd died. It was a lot of people asking me about running for city council, but you know, me being green to politics. I mean, what was a lady named Miss Cooley in Bessemer? R.I.P. Miss Cooley, major activist in Bessemer. My grandmother was somebody I would consider activist as well. You know, I saw a lot of stuff they did in the community, and so I called myself going to city council meetings. Started going to city council meetings 6, 7 years ago, and so I would come up with ideas and certain things I would try to do. People would be like, "Oh, why are you doing this? You know, you can't be doing this out the county's yard. You must be running for something." And I just found out local politics was so messy. You know what I'm saying? It's so messy. And
it shouldn't be, but it is.
And again, me having a diverse background and having a corporate job, and also seeing how people can coexist and agree to disagree through my time growing up in Homewood, I'm like, no. I mean, I can have influence, but I don't want to have influence for as being, you know, a part of city government. You know what I'm saying? I can do this from the outside. In fact, I think I can get more done, you know, outside. You know what I'm saying? Because
you have all
I don't have to get votes. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I don't talk about it and rave about it like, you know, some politicians do, or some people that, you know, proclaim to be activists, or some people that are activists. But it's a lot of stuff that's been done in Birmingham and been done for, you know, the elderly. No, I've
you said for the elderly?
Yeah, elderly and people that's had situations, you know, legally. It's been some situation where I've stood up for some people and helped them out. You know what I'm saying? And that's outside of the social media, even before I started it. So, you know, I think we can all play our position. And so that's all I want to do, man, is continue to play my position. You know, and that's what I've done my whole life.
That's
you know
big,
what I'm
saying? Yeah, man. Some of the biggest people, man, some of the people that we need to take care of in this day and time is the elderly and the kids. Right. That's my opinion anyway. So, yeah, another question, boy. You've been hitting on all cylinders. I was gonna ask you your thoughts on Birmingham politics. Well, I think we still have a chance, but the biggest disconnect with Birmingham is, in my opinion, we need some backup singers. You know what I'm saying? Need some David reference. Yeah, we need some backup singers. You want my job? Yeah, you ain't gonna get it. We need some backup singers. We need some B.J. Armstrong, some Craig Hodges. You know what I'm saying? Some Horace Grants. We need some people that's gonna really come up with the ideas,
but support the person that the people chose. You know what I'm saying? And then we gotta quit all the tongue wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As people in the city, especially our culture, Birmingham is 70% black, but we only had 22% of election turnout total of Birmingham.
For black folks?
Well, 20 total period.
For black folks?
No, period.
Period.
Yeah, 22%. But based on those numbers and Birmingham being 70% black,
So that's
a lot of us
didn't vote.
probably didn't come to the dance. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, but again, shout out to WJLD radio station. I mean, they did an awesome forum where they gave the candidates a chance
I
to
saw that.
talk. I mean, it was very well talked about. A lot of the candidates worked very, very hard in their campaign. I, as you said earlier, did skits with a lot of politicians. I interviewed some politicians, one but a big homie. I encourage people to vote. A lot of other people encourage people to vote. But again, folks just didn't come to the dance. You know what I'm saying?
That's so disheartening, man.
Yeah, it is.
When once upon a time that we couldn't vote,
right?
Black folks, we wasn't allowed to vote. We couldn't vote. Now, fast forward 2025, we can vote, and we still won't come to the dance.
Right.
Man, what are we doing, man?
Right.
We at some point, man, either you're part of the problem or part of the solution, man. And look, in order to let your voice be heard, participate in the process. If you don't participate in the process, you cannot complain. You shouldn't complain. You should keep your mouth closed and be quiet. That's how I see it, Courtney.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. Yeah. That's how I see it too. A lot of people, see it like that. But, it's always been a situation. I mean, I think being in that activist community, sometimes you'll even find yourself defending people that won't defend themselves.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that's the case even with family members and friends. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you may have a situation where someone, they're struggling, their financial situation may not be the best, but you say, hey, little cuz, little bro, this is what I'm gonna do for you. I know your car payment's $300 a month. You got all this stuff going on, you're on child support. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pay August, September for you. You picked back up on your payments in October. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, October 15th is 35 days away, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You take it up. You give them 60 days of relief. And you find out in the beginning of December, payment's still behind. You know what I'm saying? So again, you defended somebody because that's defense because you put your money in, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't defend themselves. They didn't hold up their end of the bargain. And so I just think we've got to do more of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's even back to the basics. You mentioned older people. If grandma needs to be taken to the hospital, out to the doctor 3 or 4 times a month. If I say I'm going to take her 3 times and you commit the 1 time, it's not that I'm doing more than you. Just go ahead and make sure you take her that 1 time.
Yeah, we just do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do what we can, man.
Right.
What you see walking and talking, man, it's a big thing, man, because I'm a big fan of walking and talking.
I appreciate it.
What do you see walking and talking in the next 5 years?
Well, what I've learned to do, Mike, is not to set unreasonable expectations for myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, one thing, I am blessed to where I do have a career, and I'll continue doing the walking and talking, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, if it continues to grow, and I'm a top, content creator, influencer, or whatever, in the country or the world or whatever, I mean, that'll be fantastic. But if I'm still just a hometown homeboy, like right now, I'm cool with that too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, because for me, it's just all about putting in effort. You know what I'm saying? It's all about giving it my best shot. And anybody that follows me knows I've definitely given my best shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because, let the work speak for itself. If God deemed that it's outside of that, then that's what it will be.
Right.
But in this space that you're operating in, is and you're doing good work. That's
Right,
what I want to let you know. You're doing great work. You raising awareness on different topics and different issues. You got different people that are tapping in with you.
Right.
So man, you're doing the work, baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, in my experience and what I believe in, if you're doing what it takes and you're doing good work, you get blessings for it. You get blessed for it.
Oh yeah.
So I just feel that you need to keep, like you said, I like your answer. I'm not really putting any expectations on it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Right. And one thing I want to set the table for when it comes to younger people is building. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nothing comes overnight.
Yeah.
Nothing comes overnight. I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit longer when you're trying to get certain things accomplished. Sometimes you put in the work in and it doesn't happen, but that doesn't mean that you get that you won't be rewarded. I know some people can be objective when it comes to Joel Osteen, but and I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I put some of my basic character against anybody. Joel Osteen, one thing he talks about from time to time, anybody that listens to him, he talks about explosive blessings, and I have it's happened throughout my life, but definitely in the last 3 years, it's been some situations unexpected that was explosive blessings. Like, man, this happened. Man,
yeah, just out of nowhere, right?
Out of nowhere.
Out
you know
of
what I'm
nowhere.
saying? So, I feel like that if I keep pushing and walking and talking, there's a possibility that, maybe I'm due a couple
explosive
blessings in the next 5 years.
Yeah, and that's just give it a take. I dig it, man.
Yeah,
I believe that, man. I always believe that when you stand 10 toes down and you giving your best shot, you doing good work, man, and you're not malicious in your intent.
Yeah.
Man, what you think gonna happen?
Yeah.
I just believe God gonna bless you.
Right.
That's just my thing.
Right.
So yeah. So I dig what you're saying, man. I'm a big fan of it, and I think, man, it's so unique, man, what you're doing. I've told you that a couple of times, having you on the show, man, it was like, man, that's crazy that you can get these people. I mean, listen, bro, people have followed you and they have connected with you to a point where when they see you, they start singing your song.
Right.
Hit that like button. I mean, people sometimes they don't say it, but they don't sing along out loud. But you can read their lips.
Right.
I see that. Sometimes I see somebody pretty much trying to take over what you're doing.
Right.
Because they know what you're doing.
Right.
So that I mean, for people to see you, and once you jump on with them, for people to see that, they see you, man, and they glad to see you when you come. They glad to give a shout out. They glad to talk about their product. They glad to talk about their business or whatever they got going. They see you, they be like, oh man, Courtney, oh man, he gonna do a video with me.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how they see it.
Right.
That's very unique, man. That's very unique. That's why I asked the question. Why do you see this thing going? But great solid answer, man.
Yeah. Well, no, again, I mean, I think that we can't always think just because we have a movement that is going to make us a multi-millionaire. You got to keep working. Think about...
But are you doing it for the money?
Think about how many...
Are you doing it for the money?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so
but you got to think about how many... And some telling my age, but think about how many Miller Vanillas we've had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People one hit wonders. You know what I'm saying? I mean, or people that actually put out productive music and they either ran through the money and didn't really reap the benefits like they could have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, one of my mom's longtime customers, one thing she told me coming up, and she was telling me this. I met her when I was like 5, 6 years old. Shout out to Miss Williams. Anybody did music through Birmingham schools, probably had Miss Williams, but Miss Williams told me, she said, "Don't be no stupid man." You know what I'm saying?
Don't be a stupid man.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Wow.
She used to tell me that, yeah. And that still rings in my head, man.
A stupid man.
Yeah, don't be a stupid man. And so, and it happens all the time. Not saying anything bad about guys, but sometimes as brothers, and as men, period, sometimes we get high-ranking positions. Sometimes we get money,
Yeah.
and we just lose ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can understand.
And what happened with Shannon Sharp is unfortunate. And I don't know all the details of the situation.
Yeah.
But at the same
But
time,
he lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
He did.
And then, you are 25, you're not 35, you're not 45, you're like 55, 56, 57 years old.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You're probably in the early part of the fourth quarter, if not in the fourth quarter of your life.
Yeah.
And you made a mistake like this when a lot of your claim to fame has come from critiquing younger athletes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a boo-boo, man. I feel bad for him, but it was a boo-boo.
Right.
Yeah. I can say so much about that, man, but I won't.
Right.
But it's a boo-boo. He made a big boo-boo.
Right.
Yeah. So, and you got to live with it, man. Certain things that you got to certain things you got to be more mature than.
Right.
Yeah. And I leave it like that. You just certain things you cannot allow yourself. I don't care how much money you get, how much fame you get, how you got to be grounded to a fact that you got to be able to recognize when things are not what they need to be for you. You cannot walk into a cane field, a burning cane field with gasoline draws on. You can't do it. Don't do it, man. And unfortunately, Shannon, man, you made and I like Shannon, man. I think all of us. I don't care how old you are. You just gotta grow up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing that always sticks out to me, and anybody knows, especially from my Homewood days and early adulthood, they know I was a big Master P fan, big No Limit fan, and Master P in one song, and it's always like one of my motivational pieces. Be about your paper. Forget the fizzing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say the other word he said. Like, but anybody that grew up, listening to rap music in the mid '90s when and late '90s when Master P was doing his thing. I mean, that was the word. You know what I'm saying? Be about your paper. Forget the fizzing, and so that's what I try to do with anything, and that's why I'm always gonna talk about the elitist mentality. I gotta be able to start a show with everything. I mean, that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everything.
So you don't have to be in the front. You have
I can be a backup singer. Yeah. And that's why I said, you asked me, am I willing to do a podcast? I can sit in on some of your podcasts and be a co-host.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we can have just good a time. And I think what's for me, it's still gonna come. Me and Big Homie, we've done it many times. You know what I'm saying? And I've actually brought people to his show, and I plan on doing the same thing with you.
You know what's crazy though, man? Because I guess certain people will see a microphone and see us having a podcast and see my title, Real Talk with Mike Steele, and probably would think that, oh, if you didn't know me, you would think that, oh, his show is kind of self-centered, maybe because it's Real Talk with Mike Steele. But man, my show, this podcast was a radio show long before it became a podcast. And I had people come, different co-hosts on my radio show. And man, sometimes, a lot of times they would just do the show and I'd just be in the studio with them. You know what I'm saying? Because it works for them. It works for us. It didn't have to be me leading the show all the time. It didn't. And I encourage my co-hosts to have segments and do a show. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is, man, you know, like certain positions, man, you don't have to be out front. You you can just be someone that brings people together to promote their talents. And that's what I consider myself to be. Because I'm not the most talented person, but if I know somebody's a little bit more talented than me on my show, I want them to be who they are. And also maybe have their own show at some point in time. You know what I mean? If they want that. And I offered that so many times, but I get what you're saying, though. You know, I guess, man, I like to say that, man, being grounded is everything, and knowing your skill set and knowing who you are as an individual. It ain't all about you. It's all about the people around you, how you can strengthen the people around you and be a better person. You know, that's how I look at it, though, bro. Yeah. But Courtney, man, what do you do when you ain't working? Like when you're not doing walking and talking with Courtney P? What are you doing? What do you do?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm a CNN junkie.
Oh boy, you watch a lot of
Yeah, and what I like to try to do is I'll watch CNN.
But you're informed, though. I know you.
Yeah, I'll watch CNN. I'll watch Fox. I'll watch MSNBC just to get the different
perspectives.
Perspectives. You know, a lot of times, you know, I will key in and just see, okay, like this is the hot topic. Let me see how each one of them are breaking it down. I like to listen to other podcast people. I like to listen to a lot of the local radio shows here.
Not only that you're a listener, you're a caller too.
Yeah.
But you will get it in.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I like to just do basic walks in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's a lot of stuff I like to do. I mean, when I'm not walking and talking. But the crazy thing about it is walking and talking is probably, even though it may not be planned to be a part of something, it always ends up being a part of something because it's growing. So, example, if my family has a barbecue, I just can't go to the barbecue and, you know, drink me a couple beers and, you know, have my barbecue chicken and my potato salad. And
they're going to want you to do the walking and talking. They're like, come on, man.
Right. I just can't go to the barbershop, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And get my hair cut and be like, oh, you know, people, they want to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just one of those things now. If I'm outside, people are going to want to do it, or they're going to expect me to do it, or they think something is wrong
if you don't do it.
If I'm not doing it.
What's wrong, Courtney?
Yeah.
Cause that's what I was gonna say, man. I imagine when people just see you out and about, and they say, "Oh, he coming," but how do you deal with that? Because I'm sure when people see you, even if you don't have no intentions of doing walking and talking, people expect you to do walking and talking. So how do you turn that thing off, man?
Well, I don't. I feel like that I'm trying to grow. I feel like I am growing. So I have to be accepting to anybody that wants to do it, as long as they're respectful. You know what I'm saying? If anybody notices, you know, people are happy, they're laughing, but I don't really allow people to curse. Now, if somebody's hype about a football game or, is
Yeah.
loud club and they a little bit crunk, I can slide with that. But just even
the
when
vocals, like,
even when they're vulgar,
yeah,
it's still a happy vulgar. Like,
Yeah.
we having a
yeah,
GD good time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But for the twerking and some of the other extras, I try to keep it PG-13.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Now, Courtney, man, since we back on this topic now, because this is what we're here for anyway. How do you? Because man, you always on go because people expect Courtney P to be on go. How do you deal with someone that maybe you mentioned maybe the strong? Have you ever turned somebody down and say, "Man, we can't do it, man"? No.
Yeah. It happens from time to time. When people want to get into very radical conversations or extreme, and the political people, my CNN buddies and Fox people call them extremists.
Yeah.
Extremist conversations. I think those conversations should be saved for one-on-one activities. I don't think that's something that everybody should have to listen to. Like, because walking and talking is a happy movement.
Yeah.
It's a positive movement. It's a movement to bring people together.
Absolutely.
And then it's also a situation to try to give people exposure that probably can't afford commercials and things of that nature. So, and then, I'm 46 years old, but I'm not still too big for my britches to wear. I have one of my mom's friends is in their late 60s or early 70s, you know what I'm saying? Or, one of my aunt's friends is, in their 70s, and they can really look at something objectively and be like, man, what Courtney was what he was doing. Now it's different if I'm out, I'm having a good time, but somebody just, going one of these extremist situations, no, I've got to keep in mind the people that love me, you know what I'm saying? And then I've also got to consider my job. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You got a lot of
variables. As well.
Yeah.
So I still think there's a certain amount of respect. You know what I'm saying? And some people will say, well, man, I'm just being a real such and such. What we're doing right now is real talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're talking about real situations in the city. We're talking about, my upbringing and how I got to this point and even my career to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, we're not talking about like the old folks that whole bunch of junk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I try to get rid of the junk now. Now, how you tell grandma or not even grandma but uncle, like, look, at the cookout, like, look, man, can we just eat, man? I mean, walking and talking, I do it, man, but let me eat first. Because I know you trying to eat potato salad, trying to eat barbecue chicken, and they like, Courtney, come on now, we need you to. I want to like that. I want to I want to hit that subscribe button.
Well, the thing is most of my videos are under a minute and a half, so it's quick. So it's not really a big deal. But depending on
Courtney's so nice, y'all. He like, man, look, it ain't a big deal. I'm just walking and talking. Go ahead, Courtney, go ahead, man.
But the thing about it though, a lot of times what happens, like at family events and friend events, because that's exactly what happened at the marriage forum. I ran into a childhood buddy of mine. I did a skit with him, and we bouncing around, and then it was a politician. I'm not gonna mention their name, but they was interviewing with 3340, which is a big brand.
Yeah, big brand. Yeah.
And everybody loved from over there
came over with you.
It came to where I was, and then I know some people are objective when it comes to State Representative Gavan, but she has a big personality. So I ended up doing a video with her about 5 minutes later, and she was crunk, I was crunk, and everybody at that point just like, you know what I'm saying, what to do one, and was just laughing and just having a good time. And
it's very innovative and a lot of energy. Go ahead, bro.
Right, and it made me feel good because a lot of times you got to think about it. you just had 5 people on the stage in a very spirited debate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And these people, I think it kind of loosened them up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of loosened them up a little bit. And say, man, you know what? I can have a good time, and I can still run, and I can still politic with the people after this forum. And so that's kind of what we are, man. Like again, like you said, trying to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
And please, politicians, we need y'all to come together. Birmingham needs y'all all together. The ones that was in the election and won, the ones that lost, the ones that runoff. We need more people to vote. We need more citizens to step up. We've got to really, really make this a real joint movement to, defend the goal line of Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If you ran for office, excuse me, and you didn't win, but you still got good ideals.
Mm-hmm.
How do we implement those ideals?
Right.
How do we work together as a team to get these ideals? How can we get them in the place where they can be looked at and even considered?
Right.
And also, if you lost, how do we become good sportsmen?
Right.
Okay, I lost this race, but the business of Birmingham still continues.
Right.
We work together, or do we become selfish and say, you know what, I'm not going to get my ideals up, or I'm not going to move forward. I'm just going to wait another 4 years and run again. Those kind of things, man, that I think what you're talking about, man, and how, we strengthen ourselves, man, although, a need is there, let's fix it, or let's begin to try to formulate a plan to fix it.
Right.
And let's move on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a task, man, but we will see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
Now, Courtney, what I'm getting to some of these fast questions, man. We're getting ready to close it out here in a second.
Okay.
What is one of your biggest pet peeves?
Irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, irresponsible. Definitely. I think that my mom working all the time, again, the first 11, 12 years of my life, seeing how older people did certain things, it's very, very important to me to just handle your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you can't handle it, tell the people that you're supposed to be handling that business with that you can't handle it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Be upfront.
Yeah.
You
know what I'm saying? I mean, and I'll give you an example. Riding with the expired license. Basic.
Come on.
License with $36, $37. No reason why you shouldn't get your license renewed. Tag renewal.
God,
Basic. Some of the basic things.
Man,
you have a light that's out on your car, and you're not riding the hood. Today you got to come to Hoover.
Yeah.
Best day if you're Homewood. And
God,
you still
well, you need to shut your mouth.
Yeah. So yeah, responsibility is real big to me.
No, that's funny that you mentioned that, man, because if you're a certain age and you allow can't get your ticket, your license suspended. I mean, you can't get your license suspended.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you're too old for that.
Right.
Yeah, if you're a certain age, I mean, absolutely. Even kids, though, man, because I have to teach my son all these things and my daughter all these things right now because that is so important, man. Mm-hmm. Being a grown person with suspended license is kind of crazy.
Right.
And all you have to do is pay the ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually, being involved in law enforcement, you can't have a license and you don't drive and you gotta work is just like the craziest thing.
Right.
I got you, man.
And so, then take it a step further with the responsibility, you then go to AutoZone and get that $12 light put in. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
And you got to go to court, and you don't go to court.
Ooh,
You know what I'm
shut
saying?
your mouth, Courtney.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't even go to court.
Yeah.
Like that thing will go away.
Right.
Man.
So yeah, and nobody's perfect, but irresponsibility is
Yeah,
definitely
we just try. I guess what we're using this platform today is that, I could be a little bit judgmental on that, but what we're trying to say and what Courtney is saying, what I need trying to say is that handle the business. That's all I'm saying.
Especially the basic business.
Yeah.
The basic business.
And forgive me if I'm being a little judgmental too, but because I can be, but that's a huge pet peeve of mine too.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any hidden talents? Courtney can sing.
I have, in the last 11, 12 years, become a persuasive writer. Yeah. And so I think that's where some of the activist stuff comes in. What was so crazy is because, like, in elementary school, I was known for math. Shout out to my second grade teacher, Miss Strickland. She did an excellent job in teaching me math.
But count that money now, boy.
Glen Oaks Elementary School. And she really taught me like basic math. But when it came to like writing, I was never really a good writer. So that was from elementary school to even my time in Homewood schools in Center Street. Like the teachers like, you're a pretty smart guy, but you need to work on your writing, especially back then. You had to write in cursive.
Yeah.
And even when it comes to like research papers, I was never good in anything like that.
Yeah.
But in my banking career, I've had a couple of managers really work with me on my writing to where I've had some situations happen with people like we talked about.
Yeah.
Earlier, older people and people that's been in some tough situations that could go either way, where I've written character letters and made recommendations for them. They're like, man, who did this? We need to talk to this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Did an attorney write this? So that's basically become a hidden talent that I don't talk about a lot, but it's something I'm extremely proud of because I've had some superiors question my writing skills, but it's been very, very successful for me over time, and they've seen the improvement. So I'm one of these people that's always trying to improve, and so that's definitely what I can say now is a hidden talent.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and that's all growth, man. Just growing every day, man. Yeah. Right. So
I think it even shocked my mom a little bit because on my report card as a kid, especially grade school, he just work on his writing. But
but through life, man, I think everyday life is one thing that we Courtney is that we always striving to become better individuals. Whether in our professionals, in all areas of life, basically, job, family, friend, become a better friend. One of my thing now, I want to be like a good friend to people.
Right.
Like someone that if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. That's important, man, to me. You know what I'm saying? So those areas, man, as you get older and you become like, you want people to be able to say, hey, if I call on Mike, I can count on him.
Right.
So that's just one area that I'm talking about now. But yeah, man, big ups to you, man. If you were a superhero, who would you be? If you had let me rephrase that. If you had a superpower, what power would it be? If you had a superpower. And why?
If I had a superpower, I would at this point, just with some of the division that we see on a local level, on the state level, on a national level,
Yeah.
on a world level, my superpower would be if I can just bring everybody together. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could just be the common denominator, to say, hey, look, let's all come together, let's talk this out, let's work this out. You know what I'm saying?
What?
What the song said, let's straighten it out.
Yeah, let's straighten it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there was a superpower, that's something I would, want to have, and that's a skill I want to try to continue to hone because, I mean, I know people that follow me get tired of me talking about it. I know a lot of the politicians, get tired of me talking to when I run into them. When I call into some of these local radio stations, I'm sure they get tired of me talking about it. But I just think that we have to come together locally in local politics first,
Yeah.
especially Black culture. You know what I'm saying? Because if we keep, you know, um, playing this one man basketball, you know, or just going with the people that like us,
Absolutely.
then we're gonna continue to be dominated. You know what I'm saying? Anytime again you have your waterworks taken, you get threats where your police department is gonna be, taken over. You only have 22% of people that vote. You have certain areas that's primarily the 70% of Birmingham. The neighborhoods look a certain type of way. I just think that no, it's got to be some type of coalition to come together. And we've seen countries go together come together that was at wars for years. We've seen on a smaller level rival gangs come together.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is if we're really halfway decent people with character when it comes to politicians and citizens and everyday working people, or people that just care about our neighborhoods, why can't we come together?
That's a good question. And we can if we care enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we put down our egos and just be where we need to be. We can do it, man.
Yeah, be a backup singer.
Yeah, be a backup singer. Now, what, and this is the last question I ask you, what is your deepest regret, if you have one?
Deepest regret. I wish that I would have taken advantage of some of the situations that my mom gave me in going to a school like Homewood because it was so much diversity.
Yeah. Especially back then.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
And I just think that had I done that, not saying that I would be better off, but I think that it's definitely, I guess when people look at, misplays, drop passes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when it comes to sports, I feel like that was definitely probably a drop pass,
Yeah.
Our fumble
Yeah.
play. I
Yeah.
did what I had to do to graduate. I
Yeah.
did what I had to do to move on and what most people would probably deem to be a halfway decent citizen. But, I think it was definitely some missed opportunities there.
Of course.
Being young. But one thing I will say about that is I would rather have the missed opportunities at 15, 16, 17, 18 years old than have them,
Yeah.
at 28, 38 or
Yeah.
48, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, so, we always going to have situations where we
Definitely. Yeah.
we
fumble the ball, drop the
Yeah,
ball, wish
yeah.
you would have took advantage of
But-
this.
But I still thank God for the wasted opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when I get the opportunities now, you know what I'm
They ain't
saying?
wasted.
Yeah. It's it's an all out war. Like it's
Yeah.
it's on.
Yeah, it's on.
Like
It's
Tupac
on.
said, it's a gangster party. Like I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Like
But
I
that's
said,
a good analogy. I mean, that's a good way, a good example.
Mhm.
I'd rather have these formal passes when I'm 15 and 14 years old versus when I'm 28, 29.
Right.
They hit different.
Right.
Those formal passes hit different.
Right.
I'm a lot more focused now than I were back then.
Right.
And I understand the opportunities now, how important they are and how far in between they are too.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because when I'm around people, especially college educated people, I know that I have influence, and this is outside of the walking and talking.
Yeah.
I could be with another peer group and they'd be like, where'd you go? Did you go to Mississippi State? Or did you go to University of Georgia?
It's funny.
They think that, I went to one of these top colleges in the South, top Southern colleges in the South, and graduated. And then even with some of the prominent HBCUs, some of that culture, people like, well, where'd you go? Did you go to Tuskegee? Did you go
A&M,
yeah,
State?
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, I went to junior college, I had like 12 credits and whatever, but I'm gonna always be a student. I'm always gonna be the person that that's willing to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so that formula has worked out for me, and it works out for just about anybody, because none of us knows it all. None of us.
It works out for anybody that wants to. You said the key thing, though, bro. And there's nothing knocking anybody else. We're gonna end here. If you want to grow and you're interested, because so many people can, feel like a college education is the end all be all.
Right.
So many people think that, and so many people, if they're not college educated, they feel like, hey, they feel like they kind of get down on themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people do it, man. But I talk about this, it's funny that you mentioned it, because I talk about this all the time. You don't have to be college educated to be successful.
Right.
You just gotta want to be successful.
Right.
And want to be, you just gotta want more than what you got.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Well, I think the biggest disconnect, especially with our culture, is failure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, I know we ran out of time, but like when it comes to superior high school athletes, people are even Pony League, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
People just assume that this person is, 8, 9 years old and they're going to be this 10-year NFL superstar just because this person, played 3A football, 4A football, and they ran for 45 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? This person's going to be, again, a 10-year player, NFL football player. And so I've got a cousin that was a superior athlete in high school. He even told me, he was like, man, I had PTSD from that for a long time, because he was like, a lot of family members thought that I was going to be in NFL. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have a lot of guys, you mentioned popularity, that was supposed to be a man in high school, but, they went to college and got heartbroken, by a chick that wasn't worth nothing, you know what I'm saying, about
come
nothing.
Back home.
And come back home, you know what I'm saying, and now you're on drugs, you got a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
Right.
Same thing with women. Some people live a very productive life and they get a divorce, you know what I'm saying? And like some people just can't deal with failure. That's why mental health, in my opinion, is important. And I would encourage anybody that works a job, my job offers 6 free counseling sessions
Yeah.
per year, and I take advantage of each and every single one of
Oh,
them
word.
because it's free. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because one thing is I always want to be able to deal with failure. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always, especially
Yeah.
now, there's so many eyes are now on Courtney P in
Yeah.
regards to the social media movement. You're
Right.
gonna have people that hate you for whatever. They're gonna
Yeah. Yeah.
be trollers and all
Yes,
that type
sir.
of stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know, and
How I
so
deal with them, I don't deal with them. I just
right,
let them deal.
yeah, me either.
Yeah.
And me, I'll send them a subliminal reply. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yes, sir.
They'll be like, and well, a couple like, you know what, Courtney P, like you said, you're really a nice guy. You don't even let this stuff bother you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so I just think that we have to be able to deal with failure. You know, sometimes you're gonna put yourself into a child, and the child is not gonna live up to the expectation. Sometimes you may put yourself in a marriage or relationship and it doesn't work out
Yeah.
quite how you want it to work. Sometimes you put yourself
Absolutely.
in a job and you've done everything to become this manager or director or whatever. They pick somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think people have to be able to deal with failure. Definitely.
Yeah. Failure can be the end all be all for a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how to deal with difficult situations and they move on, man. You're right, Courtney. Man, Courtney, it's been a blessing, man. I think we chopped this thing all the way down, man.
All the way.
Man, let people know how, if they want to connect with Courtney P, walking and talking, like that share button, like that, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. I mean, how do they do that, man?
Yeah. So it's very simple. Courtney Paulden. You can Google Courtney Paulden. You can type in Courtney Paulden on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Lemonade, all those platforms, and my videos will come up. And so, like I said again, I always like to lead people back to um, the promised land. If you ever get lost, just Google Courtney Paulden and you'll see all type of stuff come up. You'll see some of my activist stuff come up. You'll see, a lot of my videos come up, and everybody knows how social media is now. Once you click on one video, it's gonna lead you to the other ones.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, so Courtney, we talked about, maybe you come co-host with me a couple of times. So that's still on the table.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna chop it up.
We're a team now, man.
Yeah. So I
You
just
light
want you
skin,
to.
they gonna think we cousins, man.
So who's the light skinned brothers over here?
Yeah.
Looking like
And
cousins.
that's what my it's like everybody in Beltsville, people joke and be like, man, everybody in Beltsville cousins. And so I got a lot of cousins in Beltsville, a lot of them. So like, man, you related to Courtney B, y'all related to Courtney B.
Yeah, that's funny. Man, so guys, man, y'all make sure y'all go and check my boy out, man. Go ahead and follow him, like what he does. You already see the pedigree, you already see the brand. Make sure y'all connect with my guy, man. And I do my best to bring my guys in, talk about what they got going on so the world can understand and get to know my people, man, for who they are. So, but this ain't the last of you gonna see Courtney, because I'm gonna have him come in and co-host a couple shows with me if he got time. If he got time, I'm gonna definitely call on him so we can chop it up, man, and have some good conversation with good people. And before we leave, man, if you want to be a guest on my show, Real Talk with Mike Steele, and you want me to promote your product, just hit me up, man, in my inbox or all my social media platforms. Real Talk with Mike Steele across all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Thread. I mean, anywhere you go, man, it's the same thing. So it's Real Talk with Mike Steele. Just check in with me, tap in with me. If you want to be a guest, hit me up. I don't charge. I don't pay for people to be a guest on my show, and I don't charge people to be a guest on this show. I just don't do it. I don't think it's necessary. I think what we do is just come together and we just make magic. That's all I'm saying. Courtney, the last one words. Anything else, Courtney? You good?
No, man, thanks for having me on the show. And if y'all walking and talking with Courtney P, you gotta be on a real talk with Mike Steele too. I think one of my slogans is allies over enemies. And I just think that, you're definitely ally. I appreciate,
I
what you're
appreciate you,
doing
man.
and what you're
Thanks.
trying to do, man. And I just think that, in our culture, we've got to cut down this toxic, way of thinking. And instead of thinking about why is this person unlike me, or
Yeah,
how can I be for this person? Think about how can I make this person an ally?
yeah,
Because there's common denominators with all of us. You can take a racist um, person from another culture and a racist person from our culture. Let that Alabama football game come on.
Oh, they hug and kiss. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Roll
saying?
Tide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, and I'm gonna get off this thing, man. But
Yeah.
I mean, in a nutshell, I think what you're saying is, man, figure out what we have in common and work on that.
Right.
Because we got so many things in common.
Right.
But we rather look at the differences that we don't have.
Right.
And we rather be enemies. And I'm talking about black folks, even some of us, we try to figure out how we can be enemies rather than be allies. Man, come on, Courtney.
Right.
But you preaching tonight, Courtney. Hey, man, Joe Osteen rubbing off.
Now, my grandma, all the revivals in them hot churches in the 80s, man. For real.
That boy said all the revivals in the hot church.
Yeah, in the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, so, just like Courtney, I have a saying too, man, when I end my show, man. And it's real simple, man. Anybody that's on this live feed right now, you looking at this show or listening to this show, I mean, it's real simple. Take one step back and just pause for a second and ask yourself this question. Are you part of the problem or part of the solution? Just like that, man. Real talk with Mike Steele, man. We out of here. Till next time, man. Check in with me. We are gone. Peace.
Thanks for walking, talking, riding, and sliding with your boy Courtney P and my partner,
Mike Steele.
Mike Steele. Again, looking.
I think I was gonna get a video with you.
Yeah, definitely. We gotta do one.
Yeah.
We definitely gotta do one, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, how you think I did, man?
Man, you did great, man.
Yeah.
You chopped it up.
I got tongue-tied on that one thing. I was like, dang, man.
What's that?
Was it toxicity or what?
Ignificity. Man, but you know I'm gonna, bro, guess what? I was gonna tell you this. Boy, I mess up. People know me. I mess up sitting in the room.
Yeah.
Who cares though?
I ain't tripping. But I mean, that's the only thing. Because usually, I take my interviews personally. Like,
you did great.
Just missing that one. Like, man,
you're a professional. Right?
Yeah.
I used to be, man. I still is.
Yeah.
But the more I do this, it helps me get out my own way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, man, I understand, and I'm okay with not being perfect.
Right.
You know, because, man, I'll tell you this, man. I've been doing radio now for 14 years.
Wow.
And this one guy told me, he said, Mike, and I do a call-in radio show, which I would love calling like your boy do.
Yeah.
Like that.
Chris Coleman. Okay.
Because I am a strong, what's the word? Lack of a better word, rebuttal conversationalist. You know, when somebody brings something to the table, I'm able to talk about it and throw it back out there for other folks to talk about it. But anyway, make a long story short, doing this show, man, it's just been doing this show for as long as I've realized that.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to make you feel good about it.
No, man, because that's why I don't edit, because it's just like, it's raw and uncut, man. And if it's something I think the person acting out much, then I'm not gonna post it. Like,
Yeah.
So, it is what it is.